Hi guys, so one question I always get asked with owning a lease is can you actually daily one? So I thought now I've owned it 9 months, why don't we do a bit of a review of a long-term ownership to see if you can actually daily a Lotus Elise. So those of you that have seen this channel, you've seen the review and you've seen the walk around, but if you haven't, go check them out now because this is only going to be a quick overview. But this is the Club Racer model, which means it has things like these awesome seats inside, but also has the absolute special edition of the Cup Aero. So you have the big spoiler there, these beautiful side skirts, and of course that splitter there, which can make it a little bit difficult over speed bump. Now it does also have the lightweight forged alloys. The wheel caps are missing at the moment due to track, but it does make the car only 950 kilograms with 220 horsepower. So this makes it a little track beast and it's just where it's at home. But obviously as a daily, you're not spending your whole time on the track. So can we do this as a normal road car, or does it need to be back here at Cadwell where it belongs? So with the Elise being so low, you sit in the chassis, which means getting in and out can be a little bit difficult and a little bit of a pain in the backside when you're doing it day to day. But let's have a quick look to see if I have got any better of it over the last 9 months. So obviously door open, you've got the chassis here, which you need to step over and up to get in. Try not to bang your head. And it's like that. So do you really want to be doing that day to day in a dress? Stuff like that is not possible. So practicality wise, it's down on the bottom scale for me. Now being mid-engine, you've got the 1.8 litre supercharged engine here in the mid. Well, that means you do lose a bit of boot space. So as you can see, please excuse the dirt, that is a little bit tight for wear. So obviously you can go quite far in, however, getting your week's worth of shopping or even a weekend away can be a little bit of a struggle. So unless you get your online shop from Morrison's, the Elise boot, not really practical for your weekly shop. Now once you're inside, obviously it's a little bit tight for space, and when there's 2 of you, you can't really hate the person you're with because you end up a little bit elbowy. However, when you do start driving it, you start that engine up, everything else is forgotten. And when you really hear that exhaust popping, you are in your element. Now, one thing with this being the track spec Elise, it's a little loud because there's no soundproofing whatsoever. So if you do a lot of motorway miles or a lot of high-speed cruising, this is not the car for you unless you want to lose your hearing. But if you can put up with that because of how much fun it is on the back roads, on these corners, without doing excessive speeds, then this really is the car for you. And you can make it work as a daily because it will for sure put a smile on your face every journey. Now, comfort-wise, I've done a few long journeys in this, about 3.5 hours, and it's questionable. On the motorway, you lose your entire sense of hearing, your back goes numb, but as soon as you get on that final hour, half an hour roads where it's like this, it does make it all worth it. Now, if you're also lucky enough to be able to track one of these, it's where it's really in its element. Obviously, they're incredible fun on the roads, but this car was built with track in mind, and you can really see that shine through. Now, this one in particular, we've had it at Blyton and we've had it at Kerborough, and especially at Blyton, it is in its element. They love the short, nimble tracks, they like the tight corners, and it will really fly through. This car, it's so light but so little power, but still the acceleration will blow you away. Because of the supercharger and because it's such a small engine, it does make it a really singy acceleration, and it gets up to revs really quickly, which just, again, it just adds to all the fun of it. And there's no other car that I know that can make you smile and have such a good and cool engine as this one. Lotus have really nailed the engine on this, and you can tell by the fact they haven't changed it through the Elise. They've just kept it and improved it rather than messing around changing it. Now, daily in Lotus in the summer is all well and good. It's nice, sunny, dry roads, and you can't really complain. But when it starts to come to winter, like any rear-wheel drive car, the rain can cause a few issues. But the worst part of it all is certainly the nighttime driving. Now, because you're sat so low, everybody's headlights seem to blind you. So let's do a little switch to nighttime. Now, I'm aware you can't really see that much of me right now because of how dark it is. However, I'm hoping to show to you how direct in my eyes other car lights are because of how low we're sat, but also how terrible the Lotus lights actually are, again, because of how low to the ground we are. Now, as you can see, the light's not too bad like this. However, when a car comes directly at us, we get blinded for a second, which means the visibility on the road is really, really poor. And when you're on a road you don't quite know, and with things like wildlife, it can be quite terrifying. So as you can see, the entirety of my eyes just light up, and it's like directly staring into the sunlight, and that sort of pain. So let's get back to some actual daylight. But as Colin Chapman said, Lotus is all about simplify and then add lightness, and the Elise summed up is just that. And no matter how difficult it can be, using it as a daily car, it will still make you smile, and it will still, regardless of the situation, there'll be something that happens within the journey that you just think it is something special. And I think that's why you put up with quite a lot, you compromise with a lot. And any other car, it'd be gone, you'd be getting something different. But with the Lotus, it is really something special. So to answer the question, can you daily a Lotus Elise? The short answer is yes. The long answer is with difficulty. And I think if you're quite resilient and you're willing to compromise, it is quite possible. I've done it for the last 9 months, but it's now coming to the point where my circumstances have changed, and I'm very gutted to say that it is having to go. But will I have another one in the future? 100%. But will it be a weekend car? Yes, it will. So overall, my answer to can you daily one, I'm going to have to say no. But I do love Lotus so much. I will always have a special place for this car in my heart, and I will absolutely miss it to pieces. So it's been a great 9 months. The daily aspect, it's been challenging. There's been times where I've wanted to just get out and leave, but there's been so many times where I've had the biggest smile on my face and the most enjoyment, because there's no other car that will drive and handle like a Lotus Elise does. So you guys know the drill. So make my journey your journey. Like, follow, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.